Aloha, Adrian.
Aloha, Martin. I'm so excited to talk to you. We haven't really talked in a long time.
Yes, that's true. I'm very excited to be here and get the chance to chat with you.
I'm excited as well. I didn't know a few years ago when you moved back to Argentina until after you were there for a little bit, because I just assumed you were still here in the States. But you went back home. You're from
Yes, yes,
Argentina, right? You were born there.
yes. I'm from Argentina, born and raised here in Argentina. Um, I've been in the U.S. till, let me think, 2018. Yes,
Okay.
end of 2018. At that time, I was working for the House of Angostura.
Right.
So that's why I've been doing some events in the U.S. I think we met at Tiki Oasis at TikiCon.
Yeah.
Um, yes,
I don't
yes.
remember the exact event that we met at, but I do remember hanging out with you at a few different things because you were
Yes.
my Angostura connection. I don't know anybody at Angostura anymore after you left.
Okay, no, no. I mean, well, the guys are still there, like Raymond Edwards. He's in
Okay.
Taste of the Cocktail right now. He's the chief educator for the House of Angostura. But again, yes, it's been a few years, so I probably lost some of the connections in the U.S. But I still in touch with the brand, but mainly with the people in Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, I was in Trinidad and Tobago a month ago for the Angostura Global Cocktail Challenge finals. That was a Swizzle challenge, and it was amazing.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
sounds
was.
great. I remember you were a
Yes.
big advocate of the swizzle.
Oh,
So,
I'm still fighting for the Swizzle too. We will talk about that.
oh, I love it. I love it. Well, let's get into it. I don't know where to really start because you have such a long background in cocktails and hospitality. I believe you started bartending in 2005, correct?
2005. This year marks 20 years behind the bars. Behind the
20
bar, yes.
years. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you think you'd be working this long in hospitality or behind the bar 20 years?
Well, probably at the beginning, no, but
Yeah.
after a few years, I discovered this is my passion. This is what I do. So I know that I will be older, and my hair will be gray, and
Right.
I will still shaking drinks and trying to make people happy. Probably using an aloha shirt and serving tropical drinks. That's for sure.
I
But
love
I
it.
will. Yes.
You know, Ray Buren at Tiki T shook drinks until he was 90.
Well, oh,
And and
that's a legend.
and
That's a
Mike
legend.
Senior is almost 80, and he's still gets behind the bar, so yeah, I mean, that would be awesome at when you have that kind of experience, that kind of legacy, it'll shine through in your cocktails,
Yes.
so
When you love what you do.
what's
When you
that?
love what you do.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. When you love what you do, I find it interesting because you started as a sommelier, correct?
Well, so yeah, something like that. I mean, I was studying hotels management in
Right.
Patagonia, in Bariloche. But I get to study hotels management after studying social communication, like journalism, something like that. But I didn't finish that career. So then I moved to hotels management and working in a hotel. I discovered the bar. I discovered how fun was working behind the bar. You know, I was at the front desk picking up the phone and I saw the guy at the bar with those beautiful bottles and
Right.
liquids, you know, and beautiful ladies and having conversations. And I was like, what I'm doing here at the front desk, this is boring. So that I decided to took my first bartending course in 2005. And after I did my course, my classes, my bartending classes, I said, okay, I have to try if I like this. So I have to try to find a job and work behind the bar. so I will know if I really like it. So
Right.
that's what I did. And after I get behind the bar, I said, okay, this is it. Yes, this is I'm going to do the rest of my life.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So, and then you've been doing that ever since. Uh,
yes,
so, I know you have a background in. So, as a sommelier, you worked with wine, and then I believe you also have a background with other things like coffee and
yes. Well,
spirits.
yes, yes. Well, again, my parents, they are doctors. And so I'm a bartender. I'm like, okay, so they are doctors, very big studying people, and I want to work at night serving drinks. So my dad told me, Martin, if you want to be a bartender, just be a bartender, but try to be as the best you
The
can. I mean,
best. Yeah.
study, do the best you can so you can grow in your profession. So from the moment zero, I understand that if I want to be a better bartender every day, I have to study. So I say, okay, so I need to learn about coffee because I serve coffee at the bar. I need to learn about tea. So I went in school
Oh.
and studied about tea. And then I discovered that I need to train my nose and understand more about wines because I live in Argentina.
Oh.
Argentina is a wine country. So I do the sommelier career. And then that it's a little my path. I'm always trying to be a little better, and how can I
Yeah.
improve this, so that's why you can see that I was learning about coffee or about wine. But the thing is that in some point you will discover that you will never finish learning. I mean, this this
Right.
this never ends. I'm learning every day.
Right. Is this why you came to the States? Was to
Well,
expand your knowledge?
yeah, yeah. But when I went to the States, I was pretty um, confident of I want to learn about, and it was
Right.
about tiki. So when I went to the States. I was up to follow my tropical dreams, let's say. But the truth of the story begins in 2008. I moved from Argentina to Venezuela. Okay, so Venezuela, it's in the north of South America. If you say this to a guy who lives in an island on the West Indies, and if you say that Venezuela is a Caribbean country, they will say, no, that's not Caribbean because it's not floating on the Caribbean Sea.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But again,
Okay.
but Venezuela has Caribbean Sea, So for me, it was kind of a Caribbean country, and
Sure.
so when I get to Venezuela, and to make drinks and open a bar for some people who hire me, I discover rum.
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew rum because I was a bartender. I was working with rum, but no many rum brands in Argentina. So not a wide range of spirits from cane sugar to learn from. But when I came to Venezuela, so Venezuela is a rum country. So then I discovered, okay, so this is my spirit. This is my favorite spirit. And working with rum, I remember I started to work for a major rum brand in Venezuela, 2010. It's called Diplomático, Ron Diplomático.
Oh, yeah.
So the guys at the brand tell me, Martin, we need to do an update on our cocktail recipes. So can you propose some drinks? So yeah, of course. So I start to dig in about the rum cocktails, and I got like pissed off because I said it's impossible that if you research about rum drinks, all the time it's about the mojito, the pina colada, the daiquiri. You know, there has to be more.
Yeah.
So that's when I find tiki.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So that was my aha moment when I say, okay, so what is this? So,
That must have been a real eye opener when
oh
you
yes,
see how many different tiki drinks there are using rum. In the Puerto Rico is a Caribbean country, and
yes,
when I went to Puerto Rico once, I toured some of the distilleries there, and of course they're making mojitos, Cuba Libres, and what's the third one? Daiquiris. So
yes,
it's very limited, right? As far as like South American or Caribbean style, which is interesting because Don the Beachcomber used the Caribbean cocktails as a model, but from that point forward, it really grew. It's before that, it was very limited.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. For me, again, it was an aha moment, and I felt the same. You feel, that okay, so it's limited. It's impossible that so beautiful, versatile spirit has just a few drinks. So, but the thing is that we're talking about 2008. So I mean, like Sip Safari was 1 year release,
Right.
1 year before release. So this is a fun story because and I told this to Josh because I discovered Tiki thanks to Shag.
Okay.
Um, because so if you're in South America, we're talking about 2008. If you go to Google or find something on the web, there wasn't so much information like today.
Right.
So the first things I saw was these beautiful drawings, these beautiful
Yeah.
illustrations, and I was like, okay, so what is this? So the first book I got about Tiki is a book called Tiki Drinks, and from Adam Rock, who was illustrated by Shag. Okay, and it's a very not expensive book I found in a bartending tools page, and so my first drinks. If you took this book, which is beautiful, I mean, I spoke about this with Shag. So the drinks are not good at all. I
You're
mean,
right.
they are not good at all, and not classic recipes. But this was like my first, introduction to the thing, to
Yeah.
the big thing. But again, so the first thing that caught me, it was the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
these things that make me travel. But from then, so everything was learning. I mean, every day was learning. The thing is that as soon as I get into this movement, I said, okay, so I'm going to start to do it. So I start to make tiki drinks, probably not right at the beginning. But the thing is that in a country like Venezuela, it was like crazy because so people again was used to Cuba Libres, daiquiris, strawberry daiquiris, and pina coladas, not well done many of the
Right. Right.
occasions. Um, so when I start to do this, like different tropical drinks using rum, but combining different citruses and different kind of syrups, for people was like mind
Yeah.
blowing. Yes, yes. So everything starts like that. And then, so in 2010, I did my first, let's say, tiki class.
Okay.
I had a bartending, a small bartending school set up in Venezuela. So I did like my first class. I already get some new books. I had Sip and Safari, so I was just like showcasing some of the drinks that Jeff put in the books with the ingredients you can find in Venezuela. Because again, in Venezuela, there's no many rum
Oh, okay.
styles.
Okay.
Okay, so you get Venezuelan rum, so it's a Spanish style rum. So you have to work with that kind of drinks. Okay.
Right.
So then I discovered how important was to learn more about rum and travel a little more. So in 2013, I came back to Argentina, and Tales of the Cocktail, I think it was for the first or for the second time in the history, did a world tour. So they do Tales of the Cocktail in Buenos Aires.
Oh.
And guess what? Jeff Berry came to Argentina to present the seminar.
Okay.
But I was part of I was selected as part of Tales of the Cocktail Cocktail Apprentice program. Okay, I apply. They choose me with other 4 bartenders. So we were part of the crew. So I get the chance to meet Jeff.
Yeah.
And talk with
That
him.
that
So
that will change everything.
that changed everything.
Yeah, that will
changed
change
everything
everything.
Yes, because at the same event, I get to know Jeff Berry and David Wondrich. Okay,
Okay.
so and I was the guy with the Hawaiian shirt. So so imagine Jeff in Argentina and a crowd of bartenders. So okay, so there's a guy with a Hawaiian shirt. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be my friend.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we immediately get to know a little, and I spoke to Jeff what I was doing. So Jeff, in that day, Jeff told me, Martin, you have a new tiki friend now. Anything you need, please let me know. Okay.
Oh, I love
So
it.
2013 was that other important moment in my tiki history, let's say. And then I discovered that we have some common friends in the Latin America scene too, because Jeff used to do a class with Stanislav Barna in Spain. Was called the Post Tropical School. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
No, I don't know that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So they train a lot of European bartenders back in 2010, 2011, I think. We should ask Chef until what year he did that, but it was amazing. So I get to know Carlo, who was a guy who do that class, and with Jeff.
Yeah.
So at the same time in 2011, we did like the first tiki class in Argentina. This was done by Carlos Sanfere Cuco, another bartender. So again, there was like a few, seeds, let's say, planted in South America. So for tiki to start to grow,
Yeah.
very slowly. So I can tell that probably. So Fede and Carlo and me and this coming of Jeff to South America in 2013 was the thing that really started up the things in this part of the world.
Wow. Wow. What does the cocktail and tiki scene look like there today? Are there tiki bars in Argentina?
Well, yes. There's a few. The thing is that still very young. I can tell that you might find one or two tiki bars per big city. So there's two bars here in Buenos Aires. Let's say two bars that do it properly. Like they respect the recipes and try to use the right rums. Then there's another in Cordoba, but still small. What I can assure, and we will get to the point you understand why this is happening, is that if you go to any cocktail bar in Buenos Aires, there's a lot of cocktail bars. Buenos Aires has a huge cocktail scene, or many bars now listed in the 50 best list. And so if you go to any cocktail bar and you order a tropical drink, you will get a very good drink. I mean, so everybody knows now how a proper Mai Tai is done. So they have Jamaican rum and orchid. So you won't get grenadine, white, gold rum, amaretto Mai Tai anymore. So what I can tell is that so everybody knows what tiki is. Everybody knows that if you have a cocktail bar and a guy with an Aloha shirt enters, he will probably wants to have a zombie or a missionary downfall or a Mai Tai, and you as a regular bartender need to know how to make a Mai Tai. It doesn't matter if you are a tiki bartender or not. No problem with that. But you know how to make a Mai Tai.
Right.
Because that's a classic drink.
Right.
So that was probably the first thing we tried to set up in South America when we start to do more classes and try to, share what we learn. Establish, like lay the ground so everybody knows what tiki is. So if you come to South America, everybody knows what tiki is and everybody knows how important it is. But we still need more soldiers, let's say, more people into the thing.
Yeah.
We're still working on that.
Yeah. Okay. So still growing.
Still growing with a lot of potential.
Okay. So
yes,
you're helping with that because in 2020 you published Tiki en Español.
Yes, tiki en español. Your Spanish is good, which
My
means
Spanish
tiki.
is I have tourist Spanish.
No, you're good. You're good.
Mi español es no bueno.
Okay. Well, we will work on that. So yeah, well, tiki en Spanish, which is tiki en español. So well, yes, it was my first book. So the thing is that after I start to work with the rum brand in Venezuela, so I learned a lot about rum. Right? I did classes. I train people. I do my best to travel and get to know different countries and different rum producers in Latin America and in the Caribbean. So again, as I tell you, I study social communication. I like to write. I had a blog for many years. I'm a person who loves to read. So I'm a collector of a lot of things among tiki mugs and sizzles and bartending tools. But I'm information collector. I have a huge collection of books. So for a long time, I was focused on understanding rum. So let's say from 2010 till today, because I'm still learning about rum. But again, so rum. So I have a lot written about rum. Then, so when I went to the U.S. in 2015 for the first time, so I was working behind some cool bars in Florida. So I did, because again, in order to make my tiki drinks, I had to have the recipes. So I started to do like a recipe book, of my tiki cocktails, but all translated to Spanish. So I took the recipes from Jeff books, or from Martin's Cake books, or the books I get. I translate to Spanish. So okay, so then I do the drinks. And then I taste the drinks, and this is something that as a tiki person you might know. When you go and do a recipe, which is a classic drink, a tiki cocktail, well, not all the times is delicious. I mean, sometimes they are not that beautiful as you might think. Okay? Except you get a Trader Vic's recipe or maybe a Don's cocktail that usually are perfectly balanced. Sometimes those drinks are not perfect, but it's not that they're not perfect. I mean, those drinks were created many years ago. So the palates of the people were different,
and the ingredients that were available to them were different also.
Also, so I start to think, okay, so this is the classic drink. So, but I'm not gonna change anything, but I'm gonna try to balance it a little. If I find it's a little too sour, I will low a quarter of ounce of lemon, or if I'm using I don't know, this syrup, I will try to make the syrup as perfect balance the ingredients, so or try to understand the fruit I'm using here. Maybe the pineapple here is not, it hasn't the same acidity. So I start to do little tweaks on those recipes, respecting the recipe but balancing again. So my American bartenders, my North American bartenders fellows, saw me making the drinks, and they started to ask me, Martin, can you share me the recipe? I love it. And I'm like, but I have it in Spanish, and I don't have it in English. I mean, you have the books in English. I'm doing this for me. So they say, no, but send me that recipe booklet, because it's nice, and I can read. Limon, it's lemon, so they can read it. So they start to read in Spanish. So I started to do it. And at some point, one of my friends told me, Martin, you should put this in a book. I mean, everybody's asking for the recipe, for the recipes you have collected. So I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't paying attention to that. 2016, I went to the Hukilau for the first time in my life. Okay, so I'm talking. This guy comes to the U.S. Was working in Florida, trying to go to visit tiki bars. I get to the Hukilau, but it's not that I went. I didn't attend the Hukilau. I applied to work on the Hukilau, and I get to work in the Hukilau in the kitchen.
Okay.
So again, in 2016, I was squeezing lemons and limes as a crazy person for Jeff Berry. Again, so Jeff was there. So Jeff was, hey, Martin, what are you doing here? I'm prepping for you, Jeff. Okay, so I get into the event to work. Well, with Carlos, with Dean, with the team of the Hukilau. I'm
Yeah.
talking at the time that Tiki Kiliki was still managing the event.
Right.
So I see the kitchen of like a big tiki event for the first time, you know, and again getting to chat with the guys, hanging in the pool. That was the year I met Crazy Al Evans on a
Okay.
hole, you know,
Okay.
drinking rum.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the first time I met Al, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So he was a guy with a good-looking outfit, and I was, "Hey, your outfit is amazing. Hey, hello, how are you? I'm Al. I'm Martin." So then, so this naive I was. I mean, about learning about the tiki scene. Okay, so I wasn't ready to write a book about this. I was learning. Okay, so 2016. Then 2018, Tiki Oasis, Tiki Con, Hukilau again, working, Tales of the Cocktail, but focused on getting a relationship with the Tiki fellows. I have to mention that in 2014, I judged a cocktail competition in Venezuela for the Diplomatico tournament.
Okay.
And the head judge, I was one of the judges. There was a guy from Czech Republic, and the third judge was Martin Kate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Martin come to Venezuela.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And again, what you do if two guys with aloha shirts find in an event with
Oh, yeah.
nobody's using an aloha shirt?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We end up, you know, making a connection, and so Martin gave me a lot of advice at that time. So again, so when I went to the Hukilau, I already met Jeff. I already knew Martin. I knew some of the people on the scene. Okay, so they're the Argentinian guy. Yeah, he's a cool guy. You know, come here. You like tiki? Come. Okay. So I remember 2016 in Hukilau, I had this brief conversation with Jeff, and I told Jeff, so what should I do in South America? What's the future of tiki in my country? I mean, what can we do? I mean, we are not the U.S. We don't have tiki bars. We don't have the rums. So I remember Jeff told me something. I'm just paraphrasing, not trying to remember what he said, but he told me, Martin, it's your call. I mean, all the other elements of tiki, not saying the rums or the ingredients or the cocktails, but think about the mythology, you know, the exotic elements, the landscapes,
Right.
the traveling, you know. You have everything in South America to do tiki, and he told me something that he thought that probably the future of the movement was laying in a new place, you know. So that was very important for me, and so after 2018, when I came back to Argentina, so I said, okay, so we really need to lay a ground for tiki in the country, but we cannot do it if we don't teach, you know, and share with other bartenders. So we need bartenders to come along to the tiki scene, you know. But it's not going to be easy. This is not a rum country, okay?
Right.
This is a aperitivo country. So that's when I decided to set up a book. Okay, which people used to ask me. So Martin, is this a translation of the English books? It's no. It's not a translation. It's me reading all the tiki books I could, making all the tiki drinks I can, meeting all the tiki people I can, and what I learn I will do in a book for a Spanish-speaking bartender that will never buy the 20 or 30 or 40 tiki books out there.
Sure.
And read them.
Sure.
Okay, so I will put you what you need to learn to make a proper tiki drink, what you need to know. So I put that on that book. So that's Tiki en Español.
So you're the guy that's starting the tiki movement out there, really. You're the originator for Argentina.
Well, yeah, I might say that I'm like como el arengador. I don't know how to say this word in, you know, I'm the guy who is pushing, you know, like
Sure.
it's like bars and okay, so make me a Mai Tai. What's a Mai Tai? Oh, you don't know what a Mai Tai is? Okay, you should. Like pushing people
Yeah, yeah.
to do it. But again, so in the way, there's a lot of friends that appear. So we have like tiki guys now in Peru, in Chile, in Ecuador. I mean, they're these people. But yeah, probably all of them were my friends or they studied with me in some point. Yeah, I mean, so the book was the first book ever written in Spanish about tiki. Okay, there's a little confusion. Some people told me, but it's a book about the Spanish tiki scene. No. It's a book about tiki in Spanish
In
and
Spanish.
Español. Yes, in
Okay.
Spanish. But again, well, so this it was my first book. I learned a lot from writing that book, and yeah, there's a before and after of tiki in Español. If you ask to a Spanish speaking cantinero in South America, everybody has the book. Everybody has the book. So and they send me pictures. Like they making the drinks. Again, I mean, all the drinks that are there were discovered by Jeff. They are part of the work of Martin, and this is in the book. In the book, I'm not saying I discovered this recipe. This recipe I took it from this book, okay, from the book. So go if you want more, go to the book of Jeff, go to the books of Martin, go to find the other bartenders if you want more. But the thing is that not everybody speaks English in Latin America.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so we need this.
You need it. Yeah,
we need it.
you need something there, and you won best cocktail book with that book.
Yes. See, so we send a book for the Gourmand Awards, which is an award that is given to, let's say, like food and drink culture
Sure.
around the world,
Yeah.
mainly from Europe and from Latin America, mainly in Spanish, in French, in Portuguese, not many books in English. And so this Gourmand Awards it's like 30 or 40 years thing. They've been given prizes for many, many, many years. And so it's, I think it's the people from the family Cointreau, the Cointreau family was the people who founded this. And so, yes, the book get the prize as best cocktail book. So there was a category for cocktails, for a book about cocktails, and won. And so yeah, well, that was very nice because also helped to promote the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's key to say that if you're in Argentina or in South America, and if you go to a publishing company and tell them you're gonna write a book about tiki, they will say, "What? About what?"
Yeah.
I mean, they don't understand. So I don't know. In English, will be like self-publish it.
Yeah.
Self-publish.
Yeah.
So I mean, I put all the money. I save a lot to make the book happen, and so yes, I'm a self-published author. Okay.
Yeah. But that's great. Congratulations. And you did it again in 2024 with your second book, Tiki Mugs. Tiki Mugs.
Yeah.
Formidable look. What is that? Formidable looking potions.
Yes. So that's a nice story too. So the Tiki Mugs, Pociones Formidables in Spanish. So that was my second book. If you say it in English, it will be Tiki Mugs, Formidable Looking Potions. So the name of the book came from 1943 interview, or I don't know if it was an interview. No, it wasn't an interview. It was a journalist from the Life magazine that went to Trader Vic's in Oakland, and so he experienced a few drinks that were served in this exotic tropical vessels, and so those drinks. Also in the book, there's a chapter where I explore that a little more. So the drinks, if I recall, there was the Samoan Focatter, there was the Cava Bowl, the hot buttered rum, the Scorpion, and and the PB2. The Gremlin. So these drinks were served in the, let's say, like the earliest, well, not tiki mugs, but tropical vessels.
Okay.
So this journalist used to describe the drinks he tried at Trader Vic's. He say, "formidable looking potions." So I remember that phrase catch my attention. I say, "Oh, so that's the name of the book, Formidable Looking Potions," because so I wanted to write about tiki mugs, but not from a collector's perspective, but from a bartender's perspective.
Right. The way
And,
that you use the mugs with the
yes,
cocktails. Yes.
yes, yeah. What's the mug for the cocktail? No, and the thing is that so after I did Tiki en Español, so I was like, I studied so much, and I was writing and writing and writing. I remember my wife one day came and tell me, Martin, stop writing, because if you keep writing, you will never end.
Right.
So in some point, you have to finish.
Right.
So I finished Tiki en Español. In some point, I say, okay, so here, not more, not anymore, because if I keep looking, I will find more information. I want to
Sure.
correct myself all the time.
Yeah, it's never ending. It's never ending.
Never ending. Never ending. So I remember my wife drinking tiki cocktails one night. She told me, Martin, we should like a few months after the first book came out, and it was doing very, very well. So she told me, you should write another one. She told me, but Tiki en Español is a thick book. It's like 380 pages.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a big book. It's a big book. So she told me we should do one, but not that long, Martin, because so it's lighter, so we can sell it less expensive for people, and we can ship them to more places. And I was, oh yeah, of course. So she told me, so what could be a good topic for a second book? So I was like, okay, good topic for a second book. So I was like, okay, so tiki mugs might be interesting. So and I thought about this. I'm talking about 2021. So I thought about this because I said, okay, so if I start to look about tiki mugs, and if I start to look in my 40 plus tiki books I have, so if I read all the books of Jeff and all the Sven books, they speak about tiki mugs. They do. They gave some information, but if you want to put all that information together and you want to make, let's say if you're doing a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
So I found there was like a lot of empty spaces. There was places that I'm missing parts.
Yeah.
I was missing parts. So I say, okay, so I will try to do a puzzle, and I will try to find the missing pieces of the puzzle. So that's how I started to do Tiki Mugs, Pociones Formidables, Formidable Local Potions. Again, so the book is bigger than Tiki en Español. It's also 380 pages.
Wow.
But it's bigger and double column.
Okay.
So my wife told me, do a short book. Well, I couldn't. It wasn't.
Okay, what about, you're working on a book right now. Let's talk about that. What about that one? Tell me about the new book.
Well, I don't want to give too much information, but so I will, and then I can tell you a few more things about Formidable Looking Potions.
Okay.
So the book I'm working now, it's a book that it's exploring the connection between the aperitivos and tropical drinks.
Okay.
Why is that? Because in South America, we are aperitivo drinkers, okay? We drink a lot of Campari, we drink a lot of vermouth. If you go to Spain, this also happens. If you go to Italy, it also happens. If you start to recall and recollect the information about the last 20 or 30 years of the history of cocktails, you will find that the aperitivo movement revival was happening at the same time that the tiki movement was coming back again. So these are opposite elements growing at the same time, and in some point they start to touch, right?
Yeah.
So my thing was this. So how do I get aperitivo drinkers into tiki?
Okay.
So I have to do tropical drinks using aperitivos, okay? Using vermouth, using Campari, okay? So I start to dig in to find the elements, again, of the puzzle and try to do the connection, the historical connection. So right now I'm working in this book that explores um, a lot of the time of the cantineros, the time of the Cuban cocktail scene in the 20s and the 30s, how Trader Vic's get to Cuba and get to know Constante and get to know a few recipes from his book. How then he bring the Tortuga cocktail, which is a vermouth cocktail, and trying to find the elements, getting to the Jungle Bird in the 70s, and the last years. A lot of drinks with the aperitiki thing start to grow up, mainly in Europe, and there's a few elements in the US. So it's going to be an interesting book, which explores a few drinks that gave you like the connection. So here everything starts, like the Blood and Sand. Okay, the Blood and Sand, it's an interesting drink because it's not a tiki cocktail,
right?
But it is one of those cocktails that tiki took.
Yeah.
And I mean, nobody will know a Blood and Sand if it's not for the tiki movement.
Right. Well, it first appeared in the Savoy cocktail book.
Yes. Harry Craddock's.
Yeah, but I don't think that it was a popular drink.
Not at all.
I think that it was one of the drinks in the book, but it wasn't one of the more famous ones.
No, not at all. But talking about this, what's the interesting thing about, because I have a thought about tiki, which is fun, which is that tiki, it's like don't take it the wrong way. Take it in the best way possible. Tiki is like a black hole in the universe. If you get a little close, it will suck you in.
Sure.
Okay, it will suck you in.
Sure.
The tiki is like the Midas touch, but instead of turning things into gold, it will turn into tropical.
Right. Right.
All right.
Right.
Okay. So that's a thing. And there's no cocktail movement in the world that has that ability to touch something and turn it into. Okay.
Right.
So let's about the Blood and Sand, because in fact I was writing about this these days, and the thing is that the Blood and Sand as a cocktail, I mean, not having rum on it, having orange and cherry and vermouth, which it has a strong story, and it has a story about something, the matador,
right?
And this Spanish element. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna get a piece of what I was writing, and it's in Spanish, but I can tell you exactly what I'm thinking about. And this again happens with many other drinks. Think about the suffering bastard, or think about the Queen's Park Swizzle, which are not specific tropical. Well, the Queen's Park Swizzle it is, but think about the Suffering Bastard. It was created in Egypt. Okay. So how this drink turns into the tiki scene. Okay.
Right.
So a ver if I get the piece I was working on. Okay. So here it is. So again, the story of the Blood and Sand is something that fits into the narrative of tiki, okay? And talking about the Blood and Sand, or talking about the suffering bastard, is just to give the spark to people to start to think that there's a lot of drinks out there that might be not very well known, but if you put it into the tiki skin, they can easily turn and be famous inside tiki, okay?
Yeah.
And again, we need new drinks. We need new drinks for tiki. We need to find what's the future in terms of tiki, okay? So I don't know if Jeff once said that, like, tiki-fying something, no? Como in Spanish we say tiki-ficar.
Okay.
Have you ever used that word?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know that word.
Okay, no, it's a made-up word, of course. Well, I mean, it's a word we need to explain something. So if we took a Negroni, which is not a tiki drink at all, of course,
Right.
and but we made it with rum, and we put a little falernum on it, and we use, I don't know, some spices. So we try to fit the drink into the tiki
I
scene.
understand. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be tiki because it's not, okay. Well, I mean, I'm conservative in that terms too. A tiki drink is a tiki drink, okay.
Right.
But you can fit a lot of cocktails into tiki and make people who like those drinks a little closer of tiki. You know, what we are trying to do here is to bring people into the tropical, the exotic cocktail.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, so there's a lot of drinks that has that romantic lens, you know, of movies or different
Sure.
landscapes or exotic places around the world that might fit into the tiki DNA.
So, how big is the book? 350 pages?
No. This aperitiki is gonna be short. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
shorter. It's
I
shorter.
I'm just making a joke. That was a bad
Yeah,
joke.
no, it's not gonna be that long. But well, for formidable looking potions, the thing was that so I start to dig in. So I find two books about tiki in English. Okay, so those two books was the book from Jay Stroman, Tiki Mugs and
Yes, Tiki
Cult
Mugs.
Artifacts. Yes, and the other book was Tiki Quest, the book of the Carters, Duke
Oh
and
yeah,
Amy.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So I
That's
get
a
to
great
interview
book.
them. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful book. And I get to interview Duke and Amy. They both helped me a lot in the investigation for the new book. So the thing was, again, it was from collector's perspective. There was there were no recipes. You didn't exactly know which drink was served on those mugs. Not all the times. Sometimes yes. So that was like the path, you know, the crumbles
Right.
start with those two books. Okay, so I start to figure out which mugs are important. You know, which mugs were important. Mainly talking about the vintage tiki mugs. So then I start to investigate about vintage tiki mugs, and well, it was a tremendous journey. It took me from 3 to 4 years to get it finished.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about like 30 to 40 people I interview and help me to find, you know, to connect the dots. Um, well, I mean, from the modern artists, from Bosco, Shag, all you guys. Well, Adrian, you helped me. Jeff and Sven were huge help when I was kind of lost, you know, trying to find the elements. The drinks were pretty much the hardest part. Because in terms of mugs, Tiki Central helped a lot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, going through menus and trying to get to speak with people. I mean, it's very nice for me that I get the chance to chat with Robert, with River Van Hostin from Oceanic Arts.
Yeah.
I get the chance to talk with him. He gave me some information. So it was very nice for me. But the thing is that, so when I was writing this book, I wasn't thinking now only in the Spanish-speaking bartender community. I always thinking about the U.S. community, the tiki community in the U.S. And that's why now we are looking to get the chance to translate the book to English, so people in the U.S. can read it and enjoy it.
Okay. I can't wait to see that. When is that coming out? You're working on that one right now, right?
Well, okay. So the English translation of the book is ready, and the layout is ready because the book exists in Spanish.
Sure,
It exists
sure.
in Spanish. So right now I'm looking to get a partner in the U.S., so a publisher that might be interested in bringing the book to life in English. So we're working on that right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 In the meantime, I'm writing the other things, but I'm always writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and again, I mean, the excuse of this truly is to have recipes and have cocktails for bartenders. So when some bartenders here in Latin America, they ask me about the Tiki Mugs book. No, so I tell, okay, so you want to serve a drink in a bamboo. Okay, so you do a bamboo mug, or you serve a drink in a skull, in a skull, a head, or something. Okay,
Sure.
so
Sure.
if you come to the Tiki Mugs book, you will find which were the first drinks served there
Right.
on that kind of mug. And if you see a skull mug today, modern, beautiful, made by an amazing artist, I mean, you need to know that the first skull mug was the one that Trader Biggs has in 1943 in his bar.
Right. Right.
Okay? And try to find out which was the drink served there. Okay, so that's the narrative of the book that take you from that path. When I get mugs with no drinks, which happens a lot, I partner with different bartenders to do, okay, so let's do a new drink inspired on what information we have about the cocktail that used to be served there, and make a new drink. So there's a lot of new drinks in the book too. But that's the idea of the book, right? It's mugs and drinks and history. Mugs, drinks, history, repeat, and then a huge chapter at the end about the new era of Tiki Mugs, right? So there's a Bosco, Shag, Otto, Jeff, people Tiki mug makers, artists, people who is related to the Tiki mug scene in some point was interviewed, and their work was put in the book, because it's impossible to understand everything if you don't if you see the mug just like as a sole element, right? It's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You have a lot on your plate.
Well, yeah, that's a lot, but it's all there. It's all there. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah. Well, this is all exciting. If I want to get some of these books in Espanol, how do I get those?
No, I can send them. We can send. I mean, the thing is that we live so far. I mean, we live in Argentina.
Sure.
So usually the shipping it's a little costly, but I'll send the books. I mean,
Okay.
I will send you books.
That sounds great.
It's a beautiful book. I know in English it will be nice for the Tiki community. I'm not sure how much or how many more possibilities we will have to discover about Tiki mugs, because right now it's out of hand. I mean, there's so many artists.
There's so many now. Yeah.
So many. But I wanted to preserve the vintage Tiki
Yeah.
mug, right?
Yeah.
Because we are near to almost forgot about that, you
Yeah.
know. And so who was the first drink served in a coconut mug? Okay, so it had to be the Camaina.
Right.
Okay, so is anybody serving a Camaina drink now?
I don't think so. I don't see
I
that
don't think
drink.
so.
I don't see that drink on menus anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe there's a lot of drinks that were a little forgotten, and they should be brought again, because we have so many talented bartenders
Yeah.
doing tiki.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
imagine to put those vintage recipes in their hands again.
Yeah. 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 Well, this has been a great discussion, Martin.
No, I love it. I really love the chance to chat with you about this.
Always.
I know
Yeah.
you appreciate it. And again, at the end of the day, I'm writing, but I'm a bartender, so the recipes are important for me. The drinks are important, and one thing that I'm trying to set up clear here in South America for the cantineros that are coming, for the bartenders that maybe they are not into tiki yet, is that if you think about a tiki drink, like the Mai Tai or the Navy Grog or the Missionary Downfall or the Sumatra Cola, or think any classic Dons or big cocktail. And if you start to do the same that the other cocktail styles do, like think about the Negroni. So now you have Negronis with mezcal, rum, tequila.
Sure.
They change the bitter, they change the kind of vermouth, they change everything, and they do new ways to drink one classic cocktail because they use the structure of the drink.
Sure.
But what if you do that with a tiki cocktail? Okay.
Right.
So I have made Mai Tais with pisco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course, because I just follow the same recipe of the Mai Tai. I use a pisco quebranta, which is a pisco which has a nutty aroma and chocolate. So I use a pisco quebranta. So I use an orange liqueur, but from Peru, made with a different kind of orange. So instead of using orgeat, I made a nut orgeat. Okay, because the nut, you can do an orgeat with nuts, and it will give you the feeling in the drink, that creaminess, the nuts, the spices that the orgeat will bring. I use lime juice, same recipe of the Mai Tai. Okay, so I put some cocoa bitters. So I use the variety is called quebranta. Okay, for the pisco. So I call it the quebrantai.
Okay.
Right. So the quebrantai. So it's the name of the grape, but quebrar is like to break in Spanish. So I play around with the idea. If you drink 3 of this, it will break you.
Yeah.
It's the quebrantai. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that a tiki drink?
Well, it has the bones of a tiki drink, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not a tiki drink. It's not a tiki drink anymore.
Not anymore. Not with pisco and
No, not anymore. But pisco was part of the tiki DNA because there was pisco drinks in Big's menu.
Okay.
So. And I'm using the structure of tiki. So what I'm trying to say is that we are not paying attention of what Trader Biggs and Don left us. Beside the cultural elements, which are amazing, the aesthetics, the idea, the bars, the decoration, we are not seeing what in terms of mixology they gave us. The Mai Tai is a perfect drink. You can play around with the Mai Tai in so many ways. And think if you bring this to this part of the world and use different cane sugar spirits or different spirits, and you still do a syrup made from a kind of nut with like almonds or pistachio and start to put the DNA of your culture, okay?
Yeah.
So what's the word in Inca for the best of the world? Put that word on it. So again, is it tiki? So I say no. We will need a new word in some point.
Right.
We will need a word, but still exotic drink.
Yeah.
And still tropical drink.
Yeah. Still exotic, still tropical. So it's a relative.
It's the relative. So what about if you're sitting in this bar? So the decoration of the bar, instead of the Polynesian gods, are Inca gods.
Yeah.
And the tiki mug, instead of being a Polynesian god, it's an Inca god, and I pour you this drink.
Yeah.
Okay? So the question is, where is the future of tiki? How tiki is gonna evolve? How?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So I think this is kind of the path where tiki can thrive, and can go further of what Don or Big ever imagined.
Yeah. It's growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I put tiki in Espanol, because I tell the guys, I tell the bartenders, so hey, you have to learn how to make a proper Navy grog and how to do a proper Mai Tai before even you try to change it.
Yes.
Okay, first you know how it tastes.
Yes.
You know where it comes, what's the story behind, and then you can play around.
Yes.
Okay?
Know the history,
Yes.
know the bones and the structure. There's a saying in art school where they say you must first know the rules before you can break them.
Yes.
Understand
Yeah.
the base, right? Understand
Yeah.
the origins. So I think that's a
Yeah.
good way to wrap up this episode. I want to thank you for spending your last hour with me, Martin. This has been very, very educational, very entertaining, and I look forward to seeing more from you. When are you coming back to the States?
Well, again, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see if we can pull this thing of making the book in English, because like going to the States with my books in Spanish, it's tough. And
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
yes, we're trying to do that, and this is something I will say with all the love, Okay, I think that in the U.S., probably the big events and the brands which are related to tiki, we need with South American, Latin Americans, or Spanish-speaking bartenders that we also speak in English. We need to show a little more what we do.
Sure.
So the people in the U.S. start to feel a little more interested about us. You know, like,
Sure.
Hey, let people from the other part of the world, they have things to say. You know, and where we were talking about today is which is a little about breaking the rules, but it's not breaking the rule. It's just bending the rules.
There you go. That's a better way to say that.
It's not breaking the rule. We don't want to break the rule. We just want to bend the rules. We want to make people think about this.
Yeah.
We want to make people drink this
Yeah.
and talk about this, you know, because we are a community. We need to understand how this is going to evolve together,
Yeah.
not alone.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's a better way to say that.
Yeah. I'm not there yet is because I still haven't seen that spark of interest about or Latin American bartenders doing tropical or exotic cocktails. But it's also a little full. We need to show a little more work. But I'm definitely ready to go to the US and share this and make drinks and talk with the tiki community, which I love. So, well, hopefully for the next year, for sure for the next year.
I love that. And
Yeah.
when you get out here, I'd love to have you at the Desert Oasis room, and I'd love to try your cocktails, and we can have some fun just enjoying each other's company, you know, and awesome to make some content with you too for the YouTube channel.
Oh yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I really want to go to meet the Desert Oasis. I love home tiki bars. I'm a big fan. For me, this is true. For me, when I go to the US and go to a tiki bar or a home tiki bar, for me it's like being in Disney.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah. I'm always like the first time. For me, it's always the first time. I love this so much. And you guys are so passionate about this. And Adrian, let me tell you that your work was of a huge inspiration for me. Your work, it's very important for the future to keeping, all those interviews, all the information you share with people and people telling the stories. This is very important, Adrian. So
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Big mahalo for what you do for us.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Martin.
Yes.
If people want to follow you online or learn more about you and your books, is there a website or Instagram you want to share?
Yes. So in my Instagram, you will find it like at Swissologist, okay? Which is a plain word I use because I do specialize in swizzles.
Yeah, I love that.
The tiki element, I travel around the world looking for ancient wooden sticks to whisk cocktails.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's why I'm the Swissologist. So you will find me as Swissologist. And in my webpage, I have a project which is Arte del Bar. It's like art of the bar, but in Spanish. Arte del Bar, which is a small shop for tropical elements for cocktails. You will find books, tiki mugs, all made in Argentina, or local. It's interesting to see how the tiki movement is growing also here.
I love it.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you again for opening some time to talk to us here inside the Desert Oasis room. I appreciate it. So everybody follow our friend Martin at Swissologist, and at
Arte del Bar.
Arte del Bar. Okay.
If you get into my Instagram, you will find it. Yes, you will see the link.
Okay, I love it. Sorry about my Spanish.
No.
Okay, party people, that's it for another episode of Inside the Desert Oasis Room. You can follow us online. You follow my personal at Polynesian Pop. That's the one that's active, where I post everything about what I'm doing on the channel, as well as events that I'm attending and products from the Desert Oasis Room. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/PolynesianPop, that helps support the channel and keep us on the air. And our YouTube channel, if you want to follow our adventures, youtube.com/PolynesianPop. Okay, party people, we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers and aloha.